Here with NSU receivers coach Alvin Slaughter. Coach, we're going to talk about a couple of different things today, but the first is this emergence of Kendrick Price and this emergence of him as not only as a receiver on the field, but kind of just as that mature veteran, one of those veteran voices in that receiving room. Let's start from the beginning. What was he able to do? He was a guy that's been in the program a couple of years. 2019 comes. He kind of emerges and bursts onto the scene as a guy that ends up being a starter that season. What was he able to do on the field that allowed that to happen?
Well, it really started in practice. Just staying ready, the preparation that he was able to put in during the course of the week of practice. And it took a long time during the season. And obviously every guy, every kid, every player wants to play. But we had our guys, we had our starters. And at the time, he wasn't one of them. And it wasn't that he was doing something wrong. It was just that the other guys were out there just making plays. And those are the guys that we wanted to see play for us at that time. So just behind the scenes, speaking with him weekly, saying, hey, man, you never know when your opportunity is going to come. But you just got to be prepared. You got to stay ready, all right? Staying ready is very important in any athletic competition. But for him to stay ready, and when I gave him the call, like, hey, you know, we're going to go ahead and put you in the game this weekend ahead of time. So I want you to have that extra mental preparation, know all your assignments, and be ready to go. So when you get your shot, make sure you know you're ready to capitalize on it. And that's one of the things, just grabbing the ball by the horns and being able to ride it all the way through. So he ended up, I want to say, starting like the last 4 or 5 games of the season.
Like 4 touchdowns.
And it's just one of those things, man, like I say, like sometimes, man, you never know when the opportunity or how the opportunity is going to present itself. And getting in the game, getting a good feel for maybe a catch here or a block here, spring a running back for a big play, or catch a screen and do something. And he was able to catch the ball and split a defender. And next thing you know, he's off and running about 60-something yards. And we all were like, man, this guy is big, strong, and he's fast, you know. And that was a good example of just waiting your time, staying the course. And it was some frustrations there. I'm pretty sure, like all athletes, we all think we're better than the next guy. But him just humbling himself, understanding that I'm a team player, and if coach, you need me to do this, I'm gonna do this. If you need me to do that, I'm gonna do that. But it was good to see him go out there and execute for his first touchdown. And then after that, he had a couple more touchdowns, had some big blocks, and the rest is kind of history.
A guy that has come all of that way. Spring practice 2020, first practice, tears an ACL.
Yeah, man, that was hard, man. And you know, when my guys, I think all coaches, we definitely have a passion for what we do with our own position, and it's one of those things. It's the first practice. He goes down. It's the first rep. He starts us off, and he screams with anger and pain, and I'm looking, and I'm like, I just think the worst. And then as I walk over there, it's like, you know, guys kind of walking away, looking at him, backing up, giving him some room to breathe. And when, you know, trainers come, they do what they have to do. And we just start praying for the best of the situation, but kind of knowing in the back of our minds, we could be without him for the rest of the spring. And just, I would say the rehabilitation for him, put him in a different place. The commitment, knowing that I'm beat this. You know, a lot of athletes go through this. It's a common thing, I guess, in all athletics. And for him to kind of go through that, you find out a lot about yourself, because you have those monsters on the side of you that tell you can or you can't, and which one are you going to listen to. And I would say that the way he's been able to come back and bounce back and regain that strength, and get in position to be back, you know, at the front of the line and leading us from the offense's perspective. I can't be more proud of him than I am today. And that's one of the great things that we have in our room is the leadership, you know. And it's throughout. And I would say this: it's not just one leader. I think in order for him to lead, he got to have some people that's willing to follow. All right, and I think our group of guys understand that. And sometimes you got to lead by example. Sometimes you got to lead with your voice. And he's done a great job of that.
And then, everybody wanted to play football in the fall, but Kendrick Price was probably one of those guys who, if he saw the field in the fall, he wasn't going to be healthy. So he has 6 games this spring where it feels like he's been through that recovery process and is in that. What is he like now, and how far has he come since that day?
I think it was a setback for everyone, man. Just wanting to really play. I think the whole FCS community, D2 all the way down. I think everyone just to watch other teams and other leagues and other divisions play. It stung, man. It stung, And I think for him, it was just, let's make the best of this opportunity. Like, I'm not a type of guy. I don't like to sit around and complain about the spilled milk on the floor. Just let's clean it up. Just go back to work, handle your business like a pro. And I think, through that communication with him, along with our group, we were like, the NCAA gonna give us these 15 days of practice. Let's go out here and let's maximize, let's capitalize, let's go out here and get better collectively. We had our COVID issues in fall camp in August, and it probably wasn't the best of situations for anyone, for any teams. Just through the testing and contact tracing and all of that stuff. All that was new to us. So getting the opportunity to kind of learn that in July and August and getting to the first day of fall, practice, gave us an opportunity to kind of understand what the process looked like, but also be happy to be out here, man. I was so appreciative to just be able to practice when football was taken away from me in the fall. So I was excited. So I know I had a little more pep in my step when I was out there on the field. And those guys fed off of that. And I think him mentally seeing that was like, man, it just feels good to be back. I'm out here, I'm working out, I'm running with my teammates. It just feels good to be around your guys once again. And when that is taken away from you, you have a real big appreciation for when it comes back around, and you want to make sure that you maximize that opportunity the second go time. And I think he did just that.
He was awarded the #1 jersey this spring. You kind of mentioned there was not a year that was like, okay, we're going to make the #1 jersey a thing. It was kind of an organic deal, but what does that mean for a guy to get a #1 jersey, and kind of how did it start?
Yes, it really was a thing that I guess I kind of learned from the LSU with jersey 7 and 18. Bobby Chan was a guy that was already wearing it here, and I thought he represented the room well. I thought he represented the jersey #1 very well. And when Jazz was here, Jazz was wearing jersey number 87 in 2017. So just the following year, 2018, jersey #1 became available. So at that point, Jazz wanted to wear it. I thought it was very fitting for him just because of what he had endured and what he had overcame, that it would be a number that I thought would be fitting for him. So he had the opportunity to wear that the whole 2018 season. And then when he decided to forego, then Quan Shorts, who also wore that jersey in 2019, I thought it was also fitting for what he had to overcome and go through, that it kind of just started setting a table. And keep in mind, Quan, Jazz, those guys were all conference guys, all American guys, good citizens, good work ethic, all those things, great football players. So it kind of set the table that it can start becoming a thing. So moving into the 2020 season, and now in 21 spring, we just thought it would be the next guy to put that jersey on would be Kendrick Price, just from what he's overcome. And like I said, a lot of guys overcome a lot of different things, but I thought, knowing him for the past 4 years, 5 years, that it would be appropriate at this time for him to be the next guy to wear jersey #1.
We talked about how Kendrick Price had to rehab an injury. He was hurt this spring. Gavin Landry, a guy right out here, October 19th, was running in for a touchdown, tore his ACL on that play, and he's had, I guess, almost a year and a half now, but to rehab that injury. But did it help at all to have two guys, not necessarily on the same timeline, but to have two guys go through a similar process. They both had to fight really hard to get where they were, and now they've had to fight back to get back to where they were.
Yes, I definitely would like to think that Gavin and KP was able to communicate and talk through those dark days of can I or can't I, when it comes to the perseverance and pushing through and the rehabilitation and how hard do I go today and when I don't want to go. So it's good knowing that I can lean on my brother for some answers. And what did you do? All right. And I think that they were able to, it worked out that way where they were kind of rehabbing at the same time, but different speeds of it. Obviously, Gavin was more on the latter end because his happened in the fall and KP in the spring. But I think it was a good thing. If something positive had to come out of that, it was a good thing that they were able to lean on each other back and forth on what to do or things that could help advance their rehabilitation.